Alright guys, as you may know, my channel has been demonetized. In order to keep the channel alive, you can support me on Patreon, which is a great platform to finance content creators, or you can make a single donation on PayPal. And last but not least, I've launched my masterclass where I teach you everything there is to know about game and tactical analysis, with all the methods and tips I personally use. You can find details in the description down below. Thank you, enjoy the video. In today's analysis, we are going to find out what's wrong with Argentina and how Colombia managed to beat them in their first game in La Copa America. Let's see how both teams lined up. Argentina lined up in a flat 4-4-2 formation, with Aguero and Messi forward, Di Maria on the left, Lo Celso on the right, and a double pivot Paredes Rodriguez in midfield. Several players were out of position, but it was for the sake of the defensive structure. Colombia lined up in a 4-3-3 formation, with Rames as a right winger. Argentina had a good start at the very beginning of the game. The team was high and compact. For example, you can see Lo Celso getting very narrow. But we quickly saw structural problems appearing. Argentina had 55% possession during the first 15 minutes, but the 4-4-2 system remained very flat. Here's an animation to illustrate the problem. Colombia would defensively stand in a 4-5-1, and Argentina in a 4-4-2. The problem was that Argentina kept a very flat structure, allowing the ball to move only sideways or backwards, a U-shaped possession without any penetration, and worse, teammates were very far from Messi. When the ball moves on Messi's side, Colombia can overshadow the passing lane and keep several players around him. That makes it very difficult to find the number 10 and almost impossible in favourable conditions. This problem of balance between the defensive and the offensive system is something you can find regularly with not so well prepared national teams. The lack of presence between the lines and the isolation of the forwards is pretty blatant. For example, Lo Celso would have been better off more on the inside, but Scaloni wanted him to cover on the wing. And then, the second problem, Messi always kept under control, especially by Barrios, the defensive midfielder. Messi was always found in terrible conditions. There again, that's what you can see here. Messi well covered. In the first half, Messi was not found enough in the zone 14, which is the central space before the box, and only one ball touch inside the box. Argentina could not progress the ball centrally, so they played more through the wings. But again, it was complicated to progress. The fullback always made sure to block Di Maria back to goals. And this was successful for Colombia. Again, Medina on Di Maria. Argentina also played long to bypass all the obstacles, unsuccessfully. Otamendi, for example, really tried hard, but it never worked. The tempo and the dynamic of the game was not great, and it got affected by the fouls. Now, let's see how Colombia played on the ball. After the 20th minute, Colombia had 59% possession during the rest of the first half. It was a basic 4-3-3 build-up really, with everyone in classic positions. As you know, Argentina stood in a medium 4-4-2, but there was no pressing at all on the build-up. Only a small-ish control around the halfway line. But after the halfway line, there was a real man orientation on the side of the ball in defense. Here it's pretty clear. It's worth mentioning that Otamendi was very often man-oriented to Cuadrado or Falcao. On the Colombian side, Muriel got injured after a challenge with Paredes, and he got replaced by Martinez. In the offensive animation, of course, Ramos was free in his positioning, and Colombia often played direct, which led to see Otamendi marking Falcao. Uribe, the number 8, could be by the touchline, and the winger Martinez getting on the inside. Again, we see Otamendi defending well. Colombia also played through the wings a lot and found crossing positions. This is how they got their best chances, like minute 15 and minute 32. But the biggest chance came after a goofy action from the keeper and Otamendi. There was absolutely no shot on target during the first half. Coming back from the locker room, Argentina had 60% possession. They played higher with more intensity. Here, Paredes finds a shot in a position where it was nowhere to be seen in the first half. But Argentina didn't change their animation, and they had the same structural problems to move the ball. And Messi's situation didn't really improve compared to the first half. Almost impossible to find him in good conditions. Impossible for him to turn around when he's found higher up the pitch. However, it was still much better than in the first half. With a disguised pass and a good move, you can definitely create danger. Barrios would not let Messi score this time. As the Argentines were facing some problems on open play, the biggest danger came through corner kicks. Here, after a corner kick again, the biggest chance was for Messi, but he didn't score. Argentina had 12 shots in the second half, 6 of them on target. After an hour playing, Rodriguez got replaced by Pizarro. Argentina was still not pressing high, but Colombia didn't do anything on the ball in the second half. Even transitions were poorly played at first. The game went on until the 71st minute, and the turning point. On a seemingly harmless action, Ramos exposes the problem of never pressing before the halfway line when you got a bit of talent. Martinez has a great action, and Pizarro, who just got in, doesn't defend well enough. Led, Argentina started pressing and counter-pressing higher. But despite attempting a lot, Argentina couldn't pick up the score. 86th minute, Zapata bypasses the Argentine counter-pressure. Colombia can have a proper transition, which eventually leads to the second goal. Colombia had 2 shots on target for 2 goals, and they can already be considered qualified for the next round after defeating that toughest opponent in the group. That's the end of my analysis, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.